What's happening, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Stop Lounge. This is episode number 25. And as always, we are your hosts, Jan and Malcolm. I'm in a different setting in my house, guys, because I'm all alone here. And we're also in the last run of this Formula One season, bro. Just three more races to go. I mean, besides
Two.
this weekend,
Two
we now
actually.
have we just have two races to go. So we're approaching the we're pretty much approaching the last round, the end of this Formula One season. But before that, guys, hope you're doing well. How are you,
Yeet.
bro?
I'm alright, bro. Thank you. I mean, I can do better. I can be better. Today I had a day off. Went to run some errands. But other than that, I'm pretty good. Thank you, I guess. How are you, bro? You good?
Yeah, for me, all good. The past few weeks have not been the easiest, unfortunately. I've had a bit of an emergency with one of my family relatives, unfortunately. But thankfully, he's recovering very, very well at the moment, and let's
Pairs up,
hope
bro.
that
Pairs up.
by the end of this year, everything goes back to normal. But that's obviously we have to obviously that's all according to the nurses and the doctors at the hospital there. So it's all according to their hand, according
Pairs up,
to
bro.
their own
Pairs up.
hands. So prayers
Pairs
up
up.
for that. But no, yeah, overall, I'm doing pretty okay from my end as well. Very happy that Formula One and also football is back. What was back during this weekend because we had a bit of a lengthy break with both of those sports, but it's great to be back and doing obviously this podcast with you guys as well. And obviously, big up to everyone who's been listening to, who has been watching every single episode of this podcast, guys. We're pretty much approaching, as we said, the end of our first season. Just two more episodes, and then obviously we do our final season our season predictions as our season finale of our first season of this podcast, guys.
Give a
And
little season review, you know what I mean?
yeah, exactly, guys. But we'll get more into that as the weeks as more weeks approach. But before we begin, guys, as always, make sure to follow us on our socials: Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Especially if this is your first time listening to this podcast, guys. And for Spotify listeners, big yourselves up by hitting us up with a rating and let us know your thoughts on each post that we publish on every single episode, guys. We publish some polls during for each episode. Make sure to give us your thoughts on those polls, and because we really appreciate your feedback on each and every single episode.
Yeah.
Without further ado, bro, let's get into the rundown for today's episode. We obviously have Las Vegas to talk about, but as always, before we get into the main meat, we'll start with the news of the track, and we had pretty significant news, bro. A lot of
Quite a
activity
few.
going on, quite a few activity going on behind the scenes during this past few weeks. And the biggest one, which we're gonna start with, is that Sauber have finally announced their second driver. We've been guessing over the past few weeks on who will partner Nico Hulkenberg for next season, and we finally had our driver, and that is Gabriel Bortoleto. He is going to partner Nico Hulkenberg for next season. For those of you who don't know who Gabriel is, he is, of course, currently leading the Formula 2 championship by just a few points. He could be world champion by the end of this month because it's looking the gap between him and the top three and the two other drivers in the top three is very minimal at the moment.
Yep.
So he could be a Formula 2 champion by the end of this month. Um, he is also a reigning Formula 3 champion. He's also in the McLaren driver program since 2022. He's signed for Fernando Alonso's driver management company A14 2 years ago, and he is only 20 years old. So that makes him the, I believe, the third rookie heading into Formula One next season. There's obviously
He is, yeah. And
There's Kimi Antonelli and Jack Doohan in the
exactly.
lineup next season. So he's the third driver heading into the sport next season. Bro, your thoughts on this before I get to mine,
First,
obviously?
first of all, I'd like to say a big thank you to Valtteri Bottas. He's been amazing
Yeah.
to the sport. First of all, and I believe he's gonna retire now. No?
It's not confirmed yet, but it
He's
looks like he's gonna. It
he's
looks
gonna
like
be
he's
out
gonna
of
be
here.
leaving. No, from the last time I've heard, I think he was going to be the reserve driver for Mercedes next season. That's the
Fair
last
enough.
thing I've
Fair
heard.
enough.
But as a first team driver, yeah, that's pretty much it for Bottas, I think.
Listen, first of all, I want to say thank you to Bottas. I've always liked Valtteri Bottas. I believe, to me, Valtteri Bottas, I compare someone like Bottas with someone like Rubens Barrichello. I always
Okay.
seen him like Rubens Barrichello, bro. As a partner, a teammate to have, he was perfect. We look back when he was teammates with Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
He helped out Lewis Hamilton tremendously to win all of those championships when they were together at Mercedes. So, first of all, thank you to Valtteri Bottas and all the best to him. Second of all,
He was his best teammate as well for Hamilton
absolutely, absolutely,
by
he was
far.
Hamilton's best teammate, easy, easy, and it was thanks to him. To me, Valtteri Bottas is like Rubens Barrichello, what Rubens Barrichello was with Michael Schumacher. To
Fair
me,
assessment, to be honest.
but second of all, Gabriel Bortoleto now. I'd be lying if I told you, bro, who I know who he is. I know he drives in Formula 2, yes, all that, but I'd be lying to tell you if I seen him race. But I've heard a lot of praise about him. He's rated highly in the paddock. And to me, I think it's a pretty good coup for Sauber because they're going now with a blend of youth and experience. Experience
Yeah.
in Hulkenberg and youth in Bortoleto. So I think it's a good pairing. Only time will tell if it works out, but I think they've made a good choice, Sauber.
Yeah, I agree with you for this because I kind of going back to your point, bro. The pairing is the interesting one because you have someone with experience with Nico Hulkenberg, and he is a quality. He has the ability to provide quality performances if whenever the car obviously is given to him at the right moments and the right time.
He's shown it many times this season with us.
Yeah, definitely, and we said multiple times that he's going to be a big miss for us come the end of come the end of the season.
Absolutely.
But with Gabriel Bortoleto, obviously a rookie, so we can't apply too much pressure for him for next
I think
season.
it's perfect for someone like Bortoleto. Sorry to cut you off, but I think
Yeah.
it's perfect for someone like Bortoleto. They're still not they're gonna be Audi next season, right? Yes, they are, right?
By
Or 2026.
2026 with Audi,
2026.
2026.
So perfect. This is the perfect scenario for both Hulkenberg and Bortoleto because it gives them a time to settle in, and then if they stay there by 2026, they'll have a brand new package to work with. So I think this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect.
And for Bortoleto as well, I think Sauber is a good starting point
Absolutely.
for his F1 career because he has the
Not much
talents to show
pressure,
them.
and not much
No,
pressure. He doesn't
yeah,
have pressure.
exactly
Like,
because
okay, okay, he still needs to perform and all,
yeah,
of course, the whole nine
obviously.
yards. But not to say it's not like he's going to a mid-table team. I was gonna say club for a second, bro.
No, no, that's all right. I mean,
I was gonna say mid-table club, a
the
mid-table
table team.
team,
Yeah,
mid-table team. So that relinquishes a lot of pressure from him, which is good, I think.
yeah, and obviously Sauber next season they're probably going to still be in transition because their focus is obviously on 2026 with
Absolutely,
Audi. So I think for Bortoleto this would be a good starting point for him
absolutely, yeah.
toward next season. Obviously, he is the first Brazilian driver on the grid since Felipe Massa back in 2017. So for the Brazilian people,
Well, we're
that's a
getting
great sight to see.
we're getting some South American flavor nowadays, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Colapinto from Argentina, now Bortoleto from Brazil, another Brazilian.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, Pinto's still not confirmed for next season, but yeah, it's great to see some South American
Yeah, yeah, listen, we're all
in
about
us in the
diversity.
team.
We're all about diversity, bro.
Yeah,
You know how it is, the whole 9 yards.
yeah, exactly. I mean, more diversity, the better, bro. But before I conclude on KB Bortoleto, obviously sad to see Valtteri Bottas leaving pretty much as a first team driver for next season. I think the rumors, if the rumors are true, that he will be the reserve driver for Mercedes, kind of makes sense for his age. I think of where he is at right now for the sport with little to almost no seats available. I think it kind of makes sense for him to be to be a reserve driver. But obviously, just a bit similar to your points, bro. Sad to see him leave. He is a quality driver. To be honest, I think when back in his Mercedes days, he was consistent. Obviously, he had Hamilton with on as his teammate, a peak Lewis Hamilton, may I add as well. So it's a bit sad that he didn't get the opportunity to become a champion, because there were a couple of races where the potential was there for him to be a world champion, but sadly that wasn't the case.
He was always going to
Um,
be second best to Lewis in the
that also
Mercedes.
is going to be second best Lewis,
And he
but
didn't want that, hence why he jumped to Sauber.
yeah,
And when he
absolutely.
jumped to Sauber, you can tell that he was more happier that he's happier with Sauber than with Mercedes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
And
just just by his off track shenanigans alone, bro.
I was going to say actually, because he had like sort of a renaissance with his fans, basically, because of his
Absolutely.
personality as well, which was great to see. So that's obviously going to be something that we're going to miss off the track next season. We lost Ricardo this season, and now we're going to lose Valtteri Bottas. So those are two quirky personalities of the grid for next season. That doesn't mean we don't have any quirky personalities off the track, but on the track for next season. But yeah, will be missed. Obviously, he's not going to be quitting the sport in general. As for Zhou Guan Yu, hasn't worked out for him. It's clear to see. He has struggled throughout his time in the sport, but he can hold his head. He can hold his head
Listen,
head
not,
high
not
at the
many
very least,
listen, not many people can say they drove for an F1 team.
and especially in their home race as well.
And listen, he's the first and only Chinese driver to drive in Formula 1.
Yes,
So by that alone, he should be very proud of himself.
he should be happy. No, no, listen, we're not gonna go too harsh on Zhou
No.
Guan Yu. He has made the most out of his time in the sport. Obviously, he hasn't confirmed what his next step in his career is gonna be, but yeah, that's pretty much the end of for him in the sport. Wish him all the best, obviously, from both of us and for this podcast. And let's hope we see him in a different motorsport, maybe in an endurance, maybe in a Formula E type of tournament, or like a DTM sort of. Who knows? But
Whatever tickles his
um,
fancy.
yeah, definitely. But it's a shame that it hasn't worked out for him in
Yeah.
Formula One. He hasn't didn't got the car for him to perform. But yeah, wish him all the best for Zhou Guan
Let's
Yu.
go. Now,
Yeah, for Bortoleto, excited for him for next season. Another rookie for in the grid, which is very very exciting to see.
yes.
Our second news of the track, bro, is that and this is a news that has got both of us pretty off guard. Is that Alpine will have Mercedes engines from 2026 onwards. Obviously, Alpine have their own engines, have their own engine supplier, which is Renault. And next season is going to be their last using these power units. And for 2026, they will be using Mercedes. The deal will run until 2030 at the least with these Mercedes engines. Bro, pretty surprising. What do you think?
That's now like what, half the grid running Mercedes engines now?
Yeah, definitely.
Half the grid. You got Alpine, Aston Martin, McLaren, Mercedes themselves, and Williams.
Yeah.
That's half the grid, bro. That's half the grid. To be fair, apparently the rumors were circulating for a long time that Alpine were going to switch to Mercedes engines. But to be honest, it still shook me. I did not expect it because they're the only team, or at least they were the only team that supply their own engines. And what they say, they don't have any works teams, they don't have any customer teams. Like,
Hmm.
they have their own engine themselves, and that's it. So to me, it's pretty surprising they're gonna go for gonna be a customer to Mercedes now and not keep building their own engines. Does that mean that they've given up on their own engines? I don't know. I think it's good that they're going to the Mercedes engine, but I don't know, bro. Something is off for me.
I think
I
it
don't really
might be.
like it.
I think it might be because of their transitional phase at the moment. Obviously, they had new management halfway through the season after Spa-Francorchamps, and I think it's also because of the power oil of. You okay, bro?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Need to stretch a bit. Need
No,
to
that's
stretch a
all
bit.
right. That's okay. And I
Oh,
think it's also because of the power unit rule changes coming 2026 as well. So if it's because of so sorry
oh.
for this. If it's because of those two options, I'm not too surprised. I think it's because of the transitional phases. I think the reason why they're going for Mercedes engines, but obviously just because they're going for Mercedes power engines doesn't mean they're gonna perform out of the box. Obviously,
Absolutely. Listen,
half the grid is with Mercedes engines as well at the moment, so
listen. I mean, take a look at Williams. They have a Mercedes engine, but
they're struggling.
it all depends on how the car on how the car is designed and all of that.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like, bro. I mean, just to wrap up on this, it looks like a lot of teams are preparing for 2026. Obviously, we have next season to focus on, but 2026 it looks like it's going to be a monumental year for the sport. I mean, with the
Listen,
power,
just just like
with
just
the
like
rule changes and stuff
just
like
like
that.
just like every time when there were rule changes, bro. This
Yeah,
is every single time. This is nothing new. I believe a lot of teams are gonna not let's not say bypass. Let's not
yeah,
say bypass next year. They're gonna put some work in, but in terms of focus, there's not gonna be much focus on 2025. There's gonna be a lot more focus on 2026.
yeah,
But that doesn't mean that it's gonna transpire positively. For example, we take a look at Mercedes. From 2021, they were good. When this new era started in 2022, Mercedes went downhill, bro. They went
yeah,
downhill. So more focus doesn't mean it's gonna transpire. You know, you're gonna have a positive outcome, is what I want to
yeah.
say. So we'll have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, pretty surprising to be honest with the Alpine news. With their power unit changes for 2026. And yeah, currently Alpine they're going through a big transition at the moment with the management and
There,
now with the power
bro,
unit rule changes.
it feels like their whole season has been a transition
Yeah, it has been.
at this point.
Obviously, Brazil has has improved their season tenfold,
Yeah.
and it's curious to see where they're going to end up in come Abu Dhabi because the battle for sixth place at the moment it's looking very tight. We'll obviously get to the constructors standings at the end of this episode, guys, but it's looking very close. Bro, we were speaking about 2025. Um, a couple of days ago, Formula One announced that at the start of the 2025 season, there's going to be a groundbreaking season launch event. So basically, all 10 teams are going to unveil their cars, unveil their cars and drivers in one special night to welcome the new season. Obviously,
Yeah, that's
2025.
because for the 75th
Yeah,
year anniversary. Yeah, all right. Yeah,
yeah,
I forgot
absolutely.
for a moment.
It's obviously because of the 75th anniversary. It will take place on February the 18th at 5 between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. At 10 p.m. It will be held at the O2 in London. It will be brought to life by creative visionary Brian Berg of Brian Berg Creative. And a lot of production companies will also be responsible for the event. Tickets are already on sale, but I think they're
Ha
sold out
ha
already,
ha!
bro.
They already sold out. I was gonna tell you how much they cost.
I'm not too I'm not too
Damn.
I'm not too sure to be honest.
I
I'm
was
not
gonna
too
tell you how
sure to
much.
be honest.
I was gonna tell you how much they cost, but then you told me sold out. Like boom.
Yeah, I'm not too sure to be honest. But bro, obviously this is a first in Formula One. We've never
Yes.
had all 10 teams unveil their cars in one night. So this is gonna be groundbreaking, definitely.
Very
Um,
different. But there were a lot that disagreed with this.
yeah, Max Verstappen being one of them.
I don't know why. I'm not saying. I mean, I'd much rather the old format where everyone has they have their selective dates.
Look
You
at
know
me,
where.
bro. Look at me, bro.
Yeah, I
Look at me,
mean,
bro.
it is that. It's always been that. It's always
Yeah,
been that.
definitely.
I think it's good. I think it's good. If it's a one-time thing, I won't mind. If it's a one-time thing, I don't mind. If it's something different, but
Yeah.
yes, just like you said, of course, obviously. But
No, I'm not too against it, to be honest, because I like to see some new things implemented into the sport. But yeah, obviously for hardcore, for die-hard Formula One fans or veteran F1 fans, I don't think they're gonna be too pleased with this one,
yeah,
to be honest, because I think they
what's
want to change a bit the
but
scenery a bit.
but
No, but I'm nothing against it, to be
no,
honest.
no, now
So
just
I
this
think
is
it's
what's gripping me.
I think it's because they don't want to break away from the traditional routine of how teams unveil their cars and drivers for the
Yeah,
new
but
season.
listen,
I think because
but bro, how the longer things stay, they're gonna become stagnant. It's alright to change it up every
yeah,
once
yeah,
in a while.
definitely. No, I agree. No. Listen, I fully agree. I'm actually curious to see how this
Yeah,
event's
how
gonna.
is it's gonna go?
I think,
Listen,
listen, if they're gonna do something similar to how they prepare for the preparations for Las Vegas, then we're in for an absolute treat. I mean, let's be honest.
listen. What's the worst that could happen? A Watch Dogs Legion scenario, bro. CTOS
Yeah, definitely.
black out the whole London, bro. That's the worst that could happen.
Technological. I mean, I think they're already living for in the future. I think with that. But let's see about it come, come the event next February.
A
But
Watch Dog.
no, listen, I'm intrigued. Listen, I'm intrigued. I want to see how they're gonna pan this out. But I think going back to Verstappen, he wasn't too pleased about this. I think
No.
he already rejected the idea.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, but people can be too
very happy.
stingy. Now,
Yeah.
to me, this is how they
Grumpy
should
old
do.
man.
Yeah, this is
Grumpy old man, definitely.
how it should be. Um, what was I gonna say? Okay, where the team that finished 10th goes first with the unveiling,
Yeah,
till the team that finished first. So from 10th to first in the constructors, for
yeah.
example,
I think it makes sense.
10th Sauber they unveiled their car first, and
Yeah,
at the moment McLaren is first, and
mm,
they go last to unveil their car. At least
yeah.
it helps bring some suspense, you know.
Sorry, my cat's like absolute maniac right here. I mean, apologies for that, but yeah, sorry about that.
Hey, don't even worry, man.
No, but listen, and I think this has also happened because of the amount of fans, of amount of new fans that are viewing that the sport has gained
Which
over
is
the past
great.
few years, which
Which
is
is
great
great.
stuff as well. Listen, I think it's because of I think the new fans mostly came from Drive to Survive. Definitely,
Absolutely.
I think that is the number one. That is the number one culprit for me.
Not the best way to enter the world of Formula One, but
No, absolutely.
because for example they have a wrong perception with many of the drivers. For example, if they
Yeah.
seen Drive to Survive, what was it, season, what season was it, season 4,
Four. I
when
think season
Verstappen,
four. Yeah,
when
season
season
four.
when Verstappen won the title, they have a wrong perception
Yeah,
on both Verstappen and Hamilton. Hence why there are so many pro Hamilton, anti Verstappen, and
yeah.
vice versa.
And they also created like a false rivalry between Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris,
Which is crazy, bro.
which was fucking crazy
Which is
because
crazy.
there's no rivalry between those two drivers. No
They're
way.
good
No.
friends, bro. They're good
Yeah.
friends.
Absolutely,
They're great
absolutely,
friends, actually.
absolutely.
So, yeah, let's say it creates drama.
Yeah,
They help create drama. Okay, maybe for entertainment purposes, but in reality, if you really watch the sport, if you really watch it from the sidelines and not on Netflix, you're gonna see a totally different picture. Don't get me wrong, there
definitely,
are rivalries, there's tension and all that,
definitely,
but they drag on with the drama on Netflix, and it's not the right way to enter
absolutely.
the sport. I'd still watch it because I like
Yeah,
it, but in
definitely.
reality, I know what things are like.
No, absolutely. But yeah, bro, just to wrap this up before we get into the meat, obviously, of this episode. Yeah, intrigued about this. I think it's going to obviously be spectacular. It's going to be they're going to go. They're obviously Virgin Media, the sponsors and the Virgin Media. They're going to absolutely go all out on this event, obviously,
Absolutely.
which is expected, obviously. But yeah, 2025 obviously come the end of Abu Dhabi. There obviously the focus is going to be on that season. Obviously, come by that event, and very curious to see how they're going to pull this event out.
Yeah,
I don't think you have anything to add, right, bro?
nothing more to add
All
on
right,
it.
bro. Let's get into Viva Las Vegas. Now, obviously, honestly, bro, when Las Vegas was announced, I think both of us agreed on one thing, bro. money. Cash is king.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And but honestly, when the track was unveiled, um, it wasn't as bad as we expected, as most fans
You know,
expected to be, right?
I still remember last year. I believe it was in one of the practice sessions. Carlos Sainz went over a drain cover and it popped out. You remember
Yeah,
that? Yeah, and
yeah.
they spent that was in free practice one, the first session, I
That happened
believe. Yeah,
several times. I believe that happened several times. I believe
yeah,
it was continuously disrupted.
yeah. But Science was the first. Science
Yeah,
was the first, and they spent hours fixing it, and practice was postponed, I believe,
yeah,
afterwards. No,
yeah. I believe so.
that wasn't the best of starts, and we were like,
No.
bro, all these millions, and y'all can't even have a proper like what was it like? They can't even check if the track is fully prepared or not.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Like that was shenanigans. I still remember it like it was yesterday. We had a laugh about it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
You,
absolutely.
me, and Tina, we were going crazy
Yeah,
on
we are
it.
no, absolutely. I mean, it's not just that. I mean, it's not just that. I mean,
But absolutely, but
most fans in
all over the
agreement. I
world.
think. Yeah,
Yeah, but all over the
definitely.
world. But listen, but after that first race, and especially with how last year's race panned out, I still
Yeah,
remember Leclerc's last corner pass on Perez, which was
yeah,
amazing.
definitely.
But you know what? After that race, we had
Not
a
so
different
bad.
perspective.
Not so bad. It
And we
wasn't
were
so bad.
willing to give it another shot. And this weekend, it was no different. It was no exception, thankfully.
Listen, on the aesthetic, this track absolutely delivers. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. Listen,
the
bro, it's
the
Las Vegas we're
sphere.
talking about,
No,
bro.
obviously. I mean,
These
the
dudes,
sphere.
these dudes, bro, these dudes are crackheads when it
No,
comes to
absolutely
atmosphere.
on the money. Yeah,
They're crackheads when it comes to atmosphere,
I
bro.
mean, they do they
Bro,
do.
and props to them, and props to them.
Yeah, listen, they do the podium on the fucking Bellagio. I mean, obviously
That's crazy,
they're
bro.
gonna go out. That's absolutely crazy. I mean,
They,
the
they,
podium.
they, the
Listen,
bro, they escort the drivers from the track in a Rolls Royce,
there were
bro.
three Rolls Royce actually, three Rolls
Oh,
Royces
3 years.
actually.
Oh, three
There
years.
was three
3 Rolls
Rolls
Royce.
Royces. One of them was for the top three. The second one was for Verstappen because his Fort Worth title. And the
Understandable.
third one, I believe, was the pace was for the officials. I believe. I think it was because of that. But yeah,
What?
I believe that's nuts. That is absolutely nuts. I
Bro,
mean,
bro, say that you want to burn through money without actually saying you want to
yeah,
burn through
definitely.
money.
I mean,
Three
you
Rolls
have
Royces on deck, bro. Maybachs with
no.
suicide
Listen,
doors, bro.
yeah, definitely. Listen,
Them joints open backwards. They open backwards. They open like normal doors. They open
these
backwards. They're
Vegas people,
suicide
yeah,
doors.
listen, these Vegas people do not fucking mess around with the cash. I mean, also, I mean, they go all out on the aesthetic. I mean, we have a sphere in the
Yeah,
on
that
top of the track. That is spectacular, to be
yeah,
fair. I
that's
mean,
nice. I like that sphere. I like that sphere.
it's
I liked
spectacular.
it.
That is spectacular. I mean, it's like we're living in 2065 basically with that sphere up top. It looks very futuristic in my opinion. But also, I mean, we're talking about the Bellagio podium, bro. It takes. I mean, yesterday for the podium celebrations, I think it took a good 10 to 15 minutes just for the drivers to get to do the post race interviews and for the podium
Yeah,
celebrations.
yeah.
I believe.
Were they stuck in traffic or something or
No, no, they just took a long time to get going. Basically, it's
what?
nuts. Yeah. Listen, we said that the organizers were gonna go all out on the
As
aesthetics,
per usual.
and we were not
And
disappointed. We
listen,
were
and
absolutely
listen,
right. I
listen.
mean,
Las Vegas
yeah,
it's more than
no,
Miami.
it's more than
It's a
Miami.
lot
It's more
more
than Miami.
because
Absolutely
Miami,
more.
Las
Yeah,
Vegas, we're talking
no,
about.
definitely. I mean, Las Vegas is just glitz and glamour and gambling and partying and so forth. I mean, it's obviously it's a dream. It's like a dream destination for me to be in
Listen,
in that.
bro. They call Las Vegas the Sin City, the city of
Yeah,
sin.
yeah,
So
definitely.
I
Yeah.
don't think we need to go any further than that.
I've seen Las Vegas being depicted in several of my favorite movies as well. But anyways, bro, um, not as bad as many expected Las Vegas to be. It's a pretty long track as well, 50 laps. I think it's one of the longest ones in the calendar. I think
Yeah.
it's the
Uh,
second
uh,
longest, I believe. Second longest, I believe.
yeah. With and
S-
second
s-
longest, and not that many corners. Just about 17 corners.
yeah, not many places do an overtake as well. To do an overtake as well, but
I
um,
disagree,
uh,
bro. I disagree.
mhm,
I disagree on that because there
okay,
are opportunities where you can do overtakes.
yeah,
You have the back straight, this Vegas Strip,
yeah,
the DRS
definitely
zone.
the Vegas
You
Strip.
have the second to last corner. They
That's
are
like
quite overtaking
that's like the longest straight line speed of all the tracks, right?
about 2017 miles per hour,
I think that's the longest
I
one. I
believe.
think
I know that turn 17, the last corner, is the fastest corner.
it's the fastest
About
corner.
195 miles per hour average.
Yeah,
A sweeping left. That's the fastest, but is the Las Vegas Strip the longest straight? I don't know. Could be. I think yeah, it is the longest straight.
I think it competes with
I
Las
and
Vegas.
I
I
hope
think it competes with Baku. I think it
and I
competes
and
with
I and,
Baku
and I
definitely.
hope it's the longest because it deserves it. I mean, it's the Las
Yeah,
Vegas
definitely.
Strip.
Yeah, definitely. I
So
mean, many cars drive there as well. So
so like one day you're seeing a Vitz, the next day you're seeing a Ferrari.
yeah, definitely.
If you're in a Formula One car.
Or a Chevette, definitely. Um,
And then Camino.
yeah, like going around like 170
Oh,
miles per
man.
hour to 200 miles per hour, or 200 miles per hour on the strip. But bro, honestly, I was a bit
Hey, gotta keep the
disappointed.
speed limit. Gotta keep the
Yeah,
speed limit.
I mean, there was one officer that tracked the speed of the F1 cars. I think on one occasion. I don't know if it was after the race
What?
or in
What? What?
practice.
What?
It's
Well,
on
I
their
didn't know this.
it's on their Instagram pages, I believe. It's on the Instagram page of the F1 Instagram page. If you want to go take a look afterwards,
Let's.
go
All right.
ahead.
I'll check it out later. I'll check it out later.
But bro, honestly, I'm a little bit disappointed that only one team unveiled a special livery because I really thought that Ferrari or McLaren or Red Bull were gonna unveil a livery, even like the rest of the smaller teams as well. But only Racing Bulls
Yeah.
revealed a one-off livery, and this livery it really pays tribute to the early 2000 Sauber car, bro, where there
Yeah.
was Massa driving that car. What do you think?
Absolutely, bro. As
Yeah,
soon as I saw it, it reminded me of that Sauber Petronas. As
yeah,
soon as I saw it, and Red Bull and the V car, the second whatever Alpha Tauri, I would still call them Alpha Tauri, bro. I don't
yeah.
care.
No, same
This
here.
year, we've predicted this season that they were gonna get a lot of stick. But with the car, the livery they had was the only good thing going. And with the special edition liveries that they put out this year, hence Miami and now, and I believe they had
Yeah.
another one, not sure. But
I forgot which race it was, but yeah,
but
I
all,
see your
but
point, definitely.
all the liveries as well as this have been spot on, have been on the
Definitely.
money.
I
And I
agree.
love this one. This one's no exception, bro. So kudos to them. Another great livery from them.
Very also very glittery as well to like pay tribute to Las Vegas as well because Las Vegas is known for its
Yeah,
glitz. But I really, really am a fan of this livery. Nice little tribute to that early 2000 Sauber car. The mix of colors really, really matches well to what Alpha Tauri really are about. Basically as a team. So big fan of this livery. Yeah, I think it's one
yeah.
of. I think we're gonna obviously reveal we're gonna talk about our predictions with the liveries come the end of this year, guys. But very pleased with this one. Yeah, I think it's one of the. I'm not sure if it's one of the best ones of this year, but
We
definitely,
need to do a recap. We need
yeah,
to do a recap because there have been
definitely,
quite a few.
definitely. All right, bro. Let's get into qualifying. Practice, not much to talk about because
Apart from one, I mean, call up in or no.
that's in qualifying. That's in qualifying. That's in
My
qualifying.
bad, my bad, bro, my bad.
We're gonna get to it very soon on this, but yeah, guys, as per usual, we're gonna work our way from the back of the grid to the top of the grid of who got pole position, who started the race at the back of the grid. Um, in Q1, we had a bit of a shock with one driver, the other one not so much, but gonna start with the back of the grid. It's not Zhou Guan Yu or Valtteri Bottas, it's Lance fucking Stroll, bro. 20th.
Bro, you know,
Um,
you
uh,
know what's funny with Stroll?
yeah.
The commentator was saying, "Oh, this is a good lap from Stroll. He's going quite fast. As soon as he crosses the line, he's still P20."
And even and bro, hear this as well. Hear this as well. On the sphere, there was like a SpongeBob SquarePants reel going on
Yeah,
with
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah,
while Lance
yeah.
Stroll was going on. So that was absolutely fitting for a driver like Lance Stroll. Just fucking hilarious, by the way.
Bro, them Las Vegas dudes know. Them Las
Yeah,
Vegas dudes know. As soon as they saw Stroll, they went to the control room. They switched something
listen,
up to
yeah,
make fun of him.
those control people are cheeky bastards. Yeah, don't,
They're dickheads, man. They're
they're
dickheads, and I love it.
they big man thing are cheeky bastards. But anyhow, Lance Stroll in 20th. I mean, nothing else to say about him, bro. We don't one knows. I mean, you guys know our thoughts on Lance Stroll, and for every fan around the world, basically.
No need to go any
Um,
further.
yeah, Valtteri Bottas in 19 with the Sauber, no surprises there. A bit surprising that Zhou Guan Yu isn't there, but Valtteri Bottas is instead. So yeah, expected with that Sauber. Alex Albon in 18th again. Expected him to get into maybe Q2 for a driver of his caliber, but yeah, 18th place with the Williams. Expected a little bit expected to be honest, but not great. The shock was Fernando Alonso in 17th. I
A driver of
expected
his caliber
not
is a
an
shock.
is a shock,
Uh,
yeah.
it is a shock for a driver of his caliber, but with the car they have, they struggled all weekend, bro.
Yeah, definitely. But
The,
with
Sometimes,
Alonso, you could expect a little bit better for him, to be
yeah, but
honest.
listen, if you don't have the tools, there's only so much you can do, bro.
Yeah,
At the end
definitely.
of the day, unlike the driver that finished above him in quali,
Yeah. I mean, bro, honestly, do we really need to
unlike him,
do we really need to dive do we really need to analyze
at
Sergio Perez at this point? 16th place, another disastrous qualifying performance for him. Poor.
I read somewhere that the reason Sergio Perez is still there is because he has a sponsor with a tequila based company, I believe.
God
Or
forbid he
or
stays there,
or
bro.
or, or, or with Kit Kat. I'm not sure, but I seen a Kit Kat advertisement of him.
Yeah.
But he needs
Listen,
a
bro.
break. He needs a break, funnily enough. So
He needs a break.
he needs a break, funnily enough. But I believe that he has a he's sponsored by a tequila based company in Mexico. Sorry.
So, no, man, because he definitely does need a break at the moment, bro.
So it's
That's
fitting.
why it
So
makes
the Kit
sense.
Kat advertisement is fitting.
Yeah, definitely.
But he has, I believe he's sponsored by a tequila based company in
Yeah.
Mexico. And the reason he's still there is because he's getting that sponsor money through him for the team. So
That was a great that joke, bro. Honestly, with the Kit Kat break, but
thanks, bro. I
um,
appreciate that.
honestly,
Thank you.
honestly, man, if I was Christian Horner, man, I would literally appoint Franco Colapinto on the spot. I don't give a shit if it's the last two races because he's just outperforming at the moment,
Yeah,
Sergio
but
Perez. Listen,
he's getting in that tequila money, bro.
God forbid he stays for next season,
I
bro.
don't
It would
agree.
be
I don't agree, but
uh-huh,
he getting that money in. Perez is an attractive person.
definitely. Sorry, on my lap, I think, or something because he's feeling cold or something, Um, but anyhow, just underwhelming for Checo once again to finish in 16th basically.
Yeah,
He's just not learning from he's just not learning from his mistakes, bro, hasn't he?
I think he knows that his seat is secured. That's
Do
what
you
I'm
think
starting to believe.
do you think it's secured?
That's what I'm
Do
starting
you
to
think
think,
it's
bro.
secured?
As soon as I saw
I
that
don't think I don't think it's secured, bro.
as soon as I saw that article or something that he's being sponsored by a tequila based company and he's bringing in good money to the team, that's what I'm
Hmm.
starting to believe, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm genuinely starting to believe that.
Hmm. Hmm.
You
Sorry,
you
go.
still dwelling over that Kit Kat,
No,
right?
no,
That
no.
Kit
There's
Kat joke.
no. As you can see, guys, my cat is about to sit
Oh,
on
oh
my
look,
lap. Basically,
we got
we
Prince
got
in the
a
building.
we got a no, Gingy. We got a visitor
Oh,
in the
Gingy,
building.
sorry.
We got a special guest, guys. Our first special guest for this podcast is Gingy. Gingy, sorry, he's 18. He can't even fucking. Li, li, sorry, excuse, let me divert. Sorry, guys, let me divert. Um, he can't. He's deaf. Unfortunately, he needs to shout in order to hear us. Basically, So because of his age, unfortunately. So yeah, he's been with me for all my life basically at this stage. But anyhow, bro, let's back to Sergio Perez. This has easily been our most chaotic episode, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's say silly. Let's say
Silly,
silly. Let's say silly. Let's keep it going
silly,
then.
definitely. But yeah, so with Sergio Perez, bro, 16 just not good enough. Not good enough. Not, can't 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 expect him
But
to be
nothing new
fucking
though.
better.
Nothing new. Nothing new.
No, definitely, definitely. Into Q2, um, Liam Lawson in 15th, bro. Under no, actually, bro. Before we get into who got knocked out in Q2, at the end of Q2, unfortunately, we had a very nasty accident, and that was and that was Franco Colapinto. With the Williams, he had a 50. It was a 50G impact incident.
A big
It
impact.
was very nasty, and that's the second weekend in a row
Williams car
actually
crashed.
where Williams' car crashed basically, which
First
is
of
which
all,
is which is which is a blow.
first of all, thank God he's all right. He wasn't
No,
hurt
no,
by that.
thank God
Thank
he's all
God.
right.
First of all, second of all,
Yeah,
he misjudged that corner, bro. That's what it was. Misjudgment.
it's a rookie mistake. It's a rookie mistake, to be fair.
That's what it was. That's what all it was. Thank God he's all right though. Thank God nothing bad happened to him.
Yeah, but obviously it's a big blow for Williams, bro. You could to have 2 weekends in a row where
Yeah.
you've crashed your car several times because obviously Williams crashed their cars multiple times last week in Brazil. With
Yeah.
both
Last
of their
time.
with both of their drivers, not last
Yeah.
week. Sorry,
Absolutely. Last time out.
last time
No.
out.
What? Yeah. I believe Albon or Colapinto was it twice. I believe.
No, but both it was both drivers.
Oh, both drivers twice. Yeah. All right.
Albin had the more severe crash basically, but
Yeah.
yeah,
All right.
but with Colapinto, obviously thank God he's okay because that was a big impact he had. I mean,
Yeah.
his car was absolutely demolished on all fronts and cylinders. So very nasty, but obviously thank God he's okay. Obviously, he will learn from his misjudgment as time goes on. Obviously, if he's given the chance to have an F1 seat next season. Um, but anyhow, obviously, Colapinto didn't finish at the back of the Q2 grid. He finished in 14th, and behind him was Liam Lawson with the Racing Bulls. Um, yeah, bro. It seems like Liam Lawson's honeymoon period is already over because he's now. It's now more of a bit of a reality check of where his car is at the moment.
I
Q2
think it
in
depends on
15th.
track, driver and track.
Yeah,
I
definitely,
think it depends a lot on
definitely,
driver and track. So I'm not
definitely,
gonna go
definitely.
into Liam Lawson that much, to be honest.
No, definitely, definitely. Um, Zhou Guan Yu in 13th. Pretty impressive, bro. Considering he has been.
I think this is his best quality performance.
No, definitely his best. I think this season, he has always been
He
in
barely got out
Q1 pretty
Q1,
much.
barely got
He's
out
all
Q1. So I think this is his best quality
definitely.
performance of the season.
No, easily his best. Easily his best. Um, Kevin Magnussen in 12th and Esteban Ocon in 11th. For Kevin Magnussen, missing out on just a few seconds on Q3 is a bit of a blow, but honestly not the worst result in the world for Haas. But for Esteban Ocon, bro, in 11th, Alpine, they're going to they for a moment Alpine were on a resurgence, bro, after their
They're going,
super performance
they're
in
going,
Brazil.
they're going to a bit of a purple patch. Let's say.
Yeah, purple patch, I would say. Yeah, definitely a purple patch.
Let's just
But
say a purple patch.
his teammate performed even
Is
better.
is going to a really good purple patch. Pierre
But
Gasly.
his race unfortunately,
Yeah, yeah. Sadly enough.
certainly enough. So in Q3, Hamilton in 10th, bro, disappointing.
Yeah, for a Mercedes car
Yeah,
I expected more from Lewis. But what happened was, I think he blundered his last lap.
yeah,
Was it?
he did. Yeah, his
In
last lap he
the
did.
second to last corner where there's a long straight, this Vegas strip, and goes left right, left right
Yeah,
left.
definitely,
I think that's what happened. He locked up and he had to abandon that lap, and
definitely. Yeah,
unfortunately
yeah.
he couldn't improve.
And this wasn't the first time he's made these type of mistakes. If it's either on the race or in qualifying, bro.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
a bit of a bummer for him. But obviously his race was the
He made up
complete
for it.
complete opposite. He made up for it, which we're gonna get to a bit later on. Um, Nico Hülkenberg in ninth yet again, bro. Consistently decent in qualifying. Nico Hülkenberg once again he has showed it in a Haas again. So ninth, ninth place with the Haas for Hülkenberg.
Yeah,
Fantastic for him.
yeah.
Bro, Gingy can't has no idea where he wants to be. He wants to be on my lap. He wants to be in my cushion. But
He's
anyhow,
exploring. He's exploring, bro. He's
yeah,
exploring. Leave him be.
he's he's exploring options.
Leave him
Um,
be.
Oscar Piastri in eighth. With I mean, McLaren, to be fair, had a poor weekend in general, bros. But we're gonna start with qualifying for McLaren. Piastri in eighth and Lando Norris in sixth. I really expected us to be in those top five places, but it just wasn't meant to be. We
The
looked
car, the
off
car, the car.
we looked
Listen,
off the pace.
the car didn't synchronize well with the track.
No,
You get some.
it's definitely because of the track. It's definitely because of the track.
Listen, and you get it. For example, you take a look at Mercedes. They worked in harmony with the track. So
And
it
there were
depends.
and there
And what a time it was for McLaren to not be in sync with the track, for their car to not be properly with the track. What a
at the worst
time.
time, it's the worst timing possible, basically. No, it's definitely the track didn't favor the car at all. In practice, we looked like there could have been a possibility that we could have been one of the favorites to win to dominate the entire weekend, but it just wasn't meant to be in qualifying. I mean, Ferrari, Red Bull, even and Mercedes were all had the upper hand on us easily.
Yeah,
So yeah, six and eight, very underwhelming for McLaren, for the team from Woking basically. Yuki Tsunoda in seventh. On the other hand, great. Once again, back to his early season form. Yuki, both in showing off his early season form. In seventh place with that racing buzz, especially where his teammate ended up in 15th. That's a great place for him to start the Grand Prix in seventh place. So fantastic result for Yuki Tsunoda.
absolutely.
Um, our top five. Um, Again, Max Verstappen in fifth, a little bit underwhelming for him, considering last season he was on top form, getting pole
I
position,
think
I believe.
yeah, yeah, he did. I think Verstappen this weekend, his main objective, his only objective was just to finish ahead of Norris.
Yeah, definitely. That was his only objective because obviously this was the weekend where he could have wrapped up his fourth World title. Spoiler alert,
Yeah,
he did. But I think not. I'm not. We're not going to go too harsh on Max because all he needs to do was just get enough points to secure to secure his fourth World title, basically.
yeah.
Leclerc in fourth and Carlos Sainz in second, bro. No complaints.
I'm not gonna complain. I think there's more to complain in the race
Yeah,
with certain calls that were
yeah,
made,
definitely,
but Sainz was more was definitely faster than Leclerc in this track.
definitely,
Definitely,
definitely.
easily.
Yeah.
He
Uh,
blitzed Leclerc this weekend.
no, easily he's easily from the two drivers. He has been the
Sainz was faster.
he has definitely been the fastest of the one. But however, bro, the big surprise was Pierre Gasly in third place with the
That's
Alpine. I mean, we're talking. I mean, he's going through a purple patch at the moment. I mean,
yeah.
on the podium in second place, I believe, or third. No, third place, third place.
No, in
Third
third.
place in third place with the
For a
Alpine
moment he was
for
for a
Brazil.
moment he was on the front row this weekend
No,
till
because
Russell
of
came.
No, because at the end of
Oh,
Q3
sorry.
at the end of Q3, bro, was dramatic. I mean, everyone was
Yeah,
performing fast lap after fast lap after fast lap.
yeah,
At one moment it was Gasly, and then it was Verstappen at one point, and there was Hamilton as well, or Sainz and Leclerc. But George Russell got pole position and eventually got pole position with a 132.312. But to
yeah.
get to Pierre Gasly very quickly, fantastic, bro. In
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
with that Alpine in Q3 and third, in Q3, and Gasly can have these type of performances, bro. We've seen it We've seen it last time out in Brazil. We've seen also in the
Absolutely.
past. He
Absolutely.
can pull off these performances out of the hat. So
Absolutely.
fantastic. What do you think, bro?
Absolutely. No, absolutely, bro. It was brilliant from Gasly. That was a proper effort. And even with the Alpine, showcases his talent. I always believed in Gasly, bro. He had that rough period with Red Bull, but
Yeah,
after that, when he went back to Alpha Tauri, he started to showcase what he's capable of
yeah.
doing.
I think he just needs the right car to perform. I think because the talent is
Absolutely,
there. The talent is there to be seen.
the right car, and the right surrounding.
Because I think he has been a little bit cursed as well
Yeah,
with how his career has panned out so far.
I
So
I believe he went to Red Bull too early.
yeah, I agree. I agree.
Too early.
I think he came at the wrong moment. I think with Red Bull. I still believe that if he performs, if he continues to he consistently performs, in the years to come, I believe he will get the Red Bull seat eventually. I think he will eventually replace Max, but at the
Yeah.
moment, I think Alpine is where he has to settle at the moment. But
That's his place. That's where he is exactly where he needs to be right now.
Um, lastly, bro, before we get into the race,
Yeah,
George Russell deserved pole position. Um,
absolutely.
I think from practice, bro, it looked like that he was. I think from practice, it showed that he was the man to beat this weekend,
Yeah, absolutely. That
and he
Mercedes was
pulled off a
flying through that
fantastic run.
circuit.
Yeah, and keep in mind, no upgrades, bro.
Absolutely.
With no upgrades whatsoever, and well deserved pole position, bro. What do you think?
Absolutely, bro. Like there was no competition with George Russell this weekend. No
Yeah,
competition whatsoever. Fully deserved.
definitely. It's a shame, obviously, that Hamilton couldn't match his pace because of his mistake, obviously. But yeah, to
Yeah.
wrap it up, Russell starting the race on pole position, and a well deserved pole leading up to the race. Now, bro, before we get into the race, um, this was Texas like 5 or 6 years ago all over again because we had a UFC boxing style intro made by the Buffer brothers, basically. Um, this is like a typical this was like a typical American style intro, bro. Basically, it was
Bro, not bro.
cringe-worthy. It was
They
hilarious at the same time.
don't. These dudes don't surprise me anymore. Like these
No, no,
Vegas
no,
dudes
no,
don't
no.
surprise me.
Obviously, they had to do it, bro. I mean,
For the culture,
they
I
had to
guess.
do it.
For the culture.
Obviously UFC. I mean, obviously to see Bruce Buffer there, in the F1 grid, just to calling out the drivers' names was cringe-worthy.
At least this year there were no awkward moments.
No, there aren't awkward moments, but obviously, I mean, just to hear some of the
You
nicknames from
you
some
rem-
drivers.
you remember last year between Bruce Buffer and Sergio Perez?
Yeah, yeah,
Bro, that was so cringe and awkward. The interaction afterwards, like their expressions, like, okay, Perez was like, okay, where am I supposed to go? And Bruce Buffer was like, okay, why is he still standing here?
listen, you can't listen. I can see the fact that they want to make it a little bit epic, but this is not UFC. This is not
No.
boxing. This is Formula One. Formula One is way different than any other than these high atmosphere sports based. No, that's not to say Formula One doesn't have a lot of atmosphere because it has atmosphere, but it just I don't know, bro. I think these Americans are really they're really disrupting the sport, in my opinion. I think
Yeah, absolutely.
they're making these
It's like,
unnecessary changes that no one wants to see, basically. So yeah,
what, how to put it? How to put it?
yeah,
Um, they're making it very glamorous.
for all the wrong reasons, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
For all the wrong reasons.
But it is what it is. We get to the race.
Is what it is. Bro, do you wanna give us a bit of an overview of the start?
I mean, the start.
Yeah,
Well, Russell got all the drivers got away well. All the drivers got
yeah.
away well. Russell got away. And then I believe it was Leclerc had the better start out of Sainz, and Sainz was going at Gasly, and Leclerc overtook both of them overtook both
Yeah,
of them, and
definitely.
Gasly dropped down to fourth. Sainz then, sorry, Leclerc was trying to press on Russell for the first couple of laps, but then he just jetted off, and then lap 8, Sainz and Leclerc practically swapped positions.
Yeah,
That's how the start was. There was no contact, there was no drama, none of that.
it was a
Verstappen was
pretty
still ahead on Norris.
yeah, it was a pretty clean race to be fair, bro.
No, no, it was a clean race.
It was a clean race, unlike last time round where there was a lot of chaos going on because of the weather.
Yeah.
This was completely different. Bro, there was a lot of tire degradation because by lap 9 or lap 10,
Yeah.
the teams were already making their first rounds of pit stops, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, those mediums were getting eaten up. They had to do 2 stops for hard tires.
Yeah, this is not an easy track. I mean,
Absolutely.
the with the tires, especially with the mediums and with the hard compound tires, where you expect these tires to last 25% of the race. Just by lap 9 or by lap 10, the tires were already starting to show some degradation.
Yeah.
That's not a great sign, obviously. So that obviously disrupted some of the team strategy. I think, bro, it was obviously a two-stop strategy, not a one-stop strategy. It was impossible, I think, for this track. Um,
All right, my bad then.
yeah, by lap 10, bro, Oscar Piastri had a 5-second penalty because of a false
Yeah.
start, which was a shame, especially since he started the race in eighth, which was not great. But bro, besides those few overtakes, it was a pretty uneventful race. To be fair, I think the overtakes,
There were some
yeah,
overtakes. For example, Sergio Perez overtaking I believe it was a Haas and the Alpha and a Racing Bull in
a
the
double
second to last
overtake, a
corner.
double overtake.
Yeah,
I think
that was nice. It was outside the points, but it was a pretty nice overtake. I
yeah.
can't
Listen,
lie.
I think with Sergio, I think with Perez, as much stick that both of us have gave him throughout this episode and even during the previous episodes as well. That double overtake was impressive. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was impressive.
Even especially during the location of the corner where that double overtake took place.
Yeah.
Um, pretty impressive stuff. Um, we did see a few overtakes, as we said, in the middle pack of the grid, but on the front of the
I
grid,
feel
bro.
I feel very sorry for Pierre Gasly on
Yeah,
lap 16 especially.
I
He
was
had
gonna
that
get
engine
to Pierre
problem.
Gasly. I was gonna get to Pierre Gasly actually, because
Alright.
unfortunately, Gasly had to retire from the race, and it's such a shame because he started on in third place. I really thought that he was gonna pull off another big surprise, but unfortunately, the car got the better of him basically for this weekend.
Yeah.
It's a shame because that would have been that would have been so beneficial for them, for the constructor standings especially, to get big points in the back. But unfortunately, that didn't turn out to be the case. So
Yeah.
sad for him.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely, man.
and
It's a
he was
pity.
and he was understandably gutted as well. Um,
Absolutely, he should.
and the same happened as well for Alex Albin as well, because Alex Albin was in the top 10 for during a portion of the race, but unfortunately, power unit issues forced him to retire from the race. And other than that, bro, I think that's the race in a nutshell, bro. George Russell was untroubled throughout, was unfazed for the entire race, pretty much.
Hamilton did a pretty
Yeah,
good recovery, very solid actually, from 10th to second.
actually, not pretty good, bro. He did an excellent recovery from 10th place. He was working his way up to the grid, and he basically ended himself up in second place. Obviously, the pit stops, with his pit stop strategies, he wasn't directly in second place, but by the end of the race, he made his way into second place, and that shows how quick that Mercedes was during the weekend, bro.
But unfortunately, though, for Mercedes, I don't think they mind too much. But unfortunately for them, let's say, the spotlight is not on them.
I don't think it's just on them as well. I think it came a little bit too late as well, because if
It's
this was
not,
in the
but
beginning of
yeah,
the
but
season,
if on beginning of the season, or maybe the weekend prior, maybe. But this weekend, it was all about one man. In reality,
yeah,
let's be real. It
Yeah,
was
it
all
was
about
about
one man, and that man is Max Verstappen. All he needed to do was
yeah.
finish above Lando Norris, and he'd secure his fourth world championship, and that's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what he did, guys. Obviously, Max started the race in third, but he finished the race in fifth. Now, obviously, he didn't have a great race, but all that mattered was that he had to finish ahead of Lando Norris, and that's exactly what he did, guys. Um, Max Verstappen is now a four-time world champion. We all said that at the beginning of the season he
After Brazil,
was.
after Brazil,
Listen, we all said that he was gonna be world champion this year. And after Brazil, especially, it was inevitable that
solidified.
he was gonna secure his fourth world title, and that's exactly what he did. Listen, fair play for Lando Norris. Shout out to him because he provided a good fight for
Did he
Max.
though? Did he?
But listen. But I'm
Did
getting to
he?
I'm getting to my point actually. But unfortunately, he's just not ready yet to become a world champion, guys, because he's made a couple of mistakes this season with his starts,
Costly.
his decision making, his pit stop strategies, his as I said, his decision making, his characteristics as well with some of the drivers and even with his teammate as well. Um, he's just he's just not ready yet to become a world title, and even especially after Brazil, it's Max fully deserves to be world champion once again.
And I'm,
Bro, what
I'm,
do you think?
and I'm gonna say this on record, bro. This is his fourth world championship, and I believe this is his best one out of the four.
Yeah,
In my humble opinion,
I agree. I
okay,
think
people may say, okay, his first beating
2021, I think.
2021, 2021 over Lewis Hamilton, last race of the season, it was definitely more dramatic. Then he had
Yeah,
22, 23. 22 being this most dominant, I believe, was it? No, 23, sorry.
no,
23,
23
20,
last year.
23 being his most dominant, but I believe this year is his best one and really showcases what a proper driver, a proper talent Max Verstappen is. To win the championship with practically three-fourths of the season in the third best car,
This is like
in my
this for
opinion,
me.
one of the best to ever do it. There I said it on record.
No. I agree. Listen, this really reminds me of Ayrton Senna back in 1993. Now, obviously, Senna didn't win the world title back in 1993, but in a bit of in a slightly underperforming car, he delivered masterclass performances in some of the races he drove, and with Max, it's fully deserved. Listen, as much as I said that he's a dirty driver and he is a highly and it is he is a very risky driver. His driving
His talent is
capabilities,
undeniable, bro.
his driving
He is
talent and
he was
capability
born
speaks for themselves. Speaks
he
for
was
for
born
itself.
to
Yeah,
race. He was born
yeah.
to race in Formula 1.
And obviously, Max now joins an illustrious, a pretty illustrious and prestigious list of drivers that have won for world titles. Alan
Yeah.
Prost, Sebastian Vettel, obviously, Juan Manuel Fangio,
Sorry.
Hamilton, obviously, Michael Schumacher. They all won more than four world title for world driver championship
Drivers.
titles as well. Fully deserved. And it shows. I mean, obviously Brazil for me, it
That was
summed
the
up.
that was the nail in the coffin, bro.
That was the fine nail in the coffin for me. For Lando Norris, for any chances for him to seal his, for any chances for him to become world champion instead of Max Verstappen. But Max is just a phenomenal driver, bro. With his
One of the best to ever do it.
high risk driving capable with his high risk driving, it he makes up for it, bro. Because
He has that it factor about him, bro.
yes, he has that personality of a world champion, bro. He's aggressive, yes. He's no nonsense. He will make a risk. He will make a lot of risks, regardless of the situation he is in the right places and at the right time as well. And despite all the chaos happening behind the scenes, he still he still carried the team on his shoulders pretty much, and he he he's now world champ. He's now world champ. He's now world champion once again for the fourth time.
But what I
Uh,
will say is this: we did predict that he's gonna win the championship in the
yeah.
beginning of the season, but thank God, thankfully, not as one-sided as we
No,
thought it
no,
would
no,
be.
no, 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 no.
That's
It
what we
isn't.
can say. That's what we
It
can say.
isn't.
At least it wasn't one-sided as we thought it would be.
No,
Fully
no, it
deserved,
isn't.
fully deserved, but
Yeah.
it wasn't as one-sided, one-dimensional as we thought.
And listen,
Because
even yeah, and listen, even though a lot of media were hyping Lando that he had a chance of becoming world champion, he had no chance. Let's be honest, he had no chance. I think the first half of the season for me was for me summed it up for me for Max.
yeah,
He had enough that he had enough for him to become to become the world champion for the fourth time. And obviously, I'm happy that the season hasn't been one-sided because Lando gave a good fight. Obviously, Perez opened the door for McLaren, Ferrari, and even Mercedes to have a shot for
to
the
some
constructors
extent.
champion to some extent. But with the drivers' title, with the drivers' championship, it was never. Lando had no chance. Lando had absolutely no chance for him to become world champion. Max is just the best driver of the bunch. Let's face it, he is.
He's one of the best of our generation easily.
Yeah, definitely. And I believe next season is going to be even tougher for. It's going to be even more challenging for him to get a fifth world title for him because obviously that Red Bull isn't in that Red Bull has lost that fear factor definitely. Many
Yeah,
teams are now having a pop at winning races. We've seen it this year, and even we've seen it this weekend as well at Las
yeah,
Vegas. But yeah, with Max Verstappen becoming world champion, fully deserved. He is a phenomenal driver.
absolutely.
With his risks, with his decision making, with his no nonsense attitude, and his mentality, bro. It's it's it's
Second to none.
it's second to none, bro. It is second
Second
to
to none
none.
on the grid.
He really reminds me of those old school drivers like Nicky Lauda and Alan Prost and how he approaches races as well. Even
Michael Schumacher,
Michael
even.
Schumacher as well, and even Ayrton Senna to some extent, Nigel
Absolutely.
Mansell as well. He deserves to be in
A
that.
proper,
Yeah,
race car driver. He is.
listen. He deserves to be in that high caliber list of legendary
Yeah.
drivers that Formula One's ever seen, and it is fully deserved. Let's hope he continues this feat. I'm not sure if he's gonna reach Lewis Hamilton's stats on honors and records, but
Only time will tell.
but only time will tell. So fully deserved. But anyway, bro. Going back to George Russell for Las Vegas, this was a fully deserved win, bro. I mean,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
he was untroubled for the entire race. He won the race pretty comfortably. Um,
Absolutely, bro.
and Mercedes had a fantastic weekend. Listen, for Mercedes, a little bit bittersweet because if this was earlier on in the season, maybe for the constructor standings, it would have been pretty. This result would have been massive for Mercedes.
Yeah.
But unfortunately now, as we're now in the end of the season, they're for Mercedes have no chance to have a shot for the constructor standing. So it looks like they're going to be finishing in fourth place. But
Yeah.
that doesn't take away for their performance in Las Vegas. They were fantastic all weekend. Their car was the quickest of the lot. That 1-2 was fully deserved. George Russell finally, luck was on his side for this weekend because the last time he won a race, he got disqualified in Spa. Anyways, where was I? Mercedes, yes. Fully deserved. They were the quickest car all weekend, no doubt about it, guys. And George Russell, after being disqualified in Belgium, it was this luck was finally on his side during last week, and it was fully deserved. Basically, he won the race comfortably, untroubled all weekend, and he won the race by 7 seconds. And Hamilton, his teammate, finishing behind him in second place. For Mercedes, it was it was a perfect weekend. Everything went in the right direction for them. And I think Hamilton had an even more impressive weekend than George Russell because obviously Russell stayed in first, stayed in first throughout, basically throughout the entire race. But Hamilton, to start the race from 10th place and to finish in second, he made an excellent recovery. He made an excellent recovery from 10th place to finish in second. So obviously he's making the best. He's doing the best he can for these last couple of races. Obviously, he will leave the team by the end of the end of the season. He will be obviously joining Ferrari at the start of next season. So he's cherishing every single moment right now. So I'm very happy for both drivers to get the first for Mercedes to get the top two spots for the race. Um, Also, a strong weekend for Ferrari to finish in third and fourth with both with both Charles Leclerc and with both Carlos Sainz in third and Charles Leclerc in fourth. Um, I think for the constructor standings right now, their only objective is to close the gap on McLaren. Obviously, the constructor standings, it looks like it's going to be between them. I would also say Red Bull, but that obviously depends on Sergio Perez on how he continues to perform throughout the last how he was going to be performing in Qatar and Abu Dhabi. It also obviously it looks like it's going to be between Ferrari and McLaren for the constructor standings. Obviously, Red Bull are still in that fight, but um, uh, yeah, third and fourth for Ferrari, a solid weekend for them. It's a bit a bit disappointing for them that Mercedes had the upper hand on the team, but it's a fantastic, it's a great result for them. Obviously, that closes the gap for Ferrari to close the gap on McLaren. So excuse me. Um, Great result for Ferrari. Um, Obviously, we talked about Max Verstappen in fifth place, guys. That obviously sealed his fourth world championship title for him. Um, McLaren in sixth. McLaren unfortunately had an underwhelming weekend with both Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri in sixth and seventh. Very poor weekend for us in general. It just wasn't meant to be. It was a bad day in the office. The good news is that we did get a few points in the bag. Obviously, we increased the gap just slightly um, ahead of uh, ahead of Ferrari and Red Bull. So so that at least is that is a silver lining for us. But unfortunately, we just were off the pace completely throughout this entire weekend. So six and seven is just not exactly where we want to be, especially for how our season has been going, both in the drivers and the constructor standings. So yeah, very a very poor day in the office for McLaren in general. Um, and finishing the top 10, Nico Hulkenberg in 8th, Yuki Tsunoda in ninth, and Sergio Perez in 10th. Hulkenberg, great race for him. A great performance for him. At least he stayed in the top 10 with the Haas. And as we said earlier on in this episode, guys, if he's going to be he's going to be a big miss for us come the end of the season. Yuki Tsunoda in ninth. Listen, 2 points in the bag. On paper, not a lot of points in the bag for Yuki, but however, for the constructor standings in particular, it's a great. It's those 2 points are going to be crucial come the end of the season. Um, and Sergio Perez in 10th. Underwhelming, obviously, for his standards, but 1 point. At least he ended up he at least a bit of a silver line for him. He ended up in the points, but obviously for Red Bull and for him, not great whatsoever. Um, my driver of the day, this could honestly go to either George Russell or Lewis Hamilton, but since Hamilton made an excellent recovery from 10th place on the grid. I'm gonna give it to him. Fantastic, fantastic performance for Lewis to start from 10th and to finish basically to finish in second place is great. Listen, I could also give it to George Russell as well, but I'm gonna it could be either one of those two drivers, but I'm gonna give it to Hamilton simply because of his recovery from 10th place on the grid. Loser of the obviously I could give it to Max as well, but honestly Max to start the race in third and finishing in fifth, not I can't really give it to him. Give the driver of the day to him. Loser of the day, honestly, I'm gonna pick the entire McLaren team for this because I expected that. I really expected an improvement from Brazil, but to finish in sixth and eighth, and and obviously behind Ferrari and Red Bull and even Mercedes as well, disappointing. Very poor for it's just a bad day in the office for McLaren in general. And let's hope we bounce back very quickly in Qatar because if we don't and we get an even worse result, Ferrari could pipe us could pipe us ahead basically in the constructor standings and even I don't even I can't even count I'm not even counting I'm the most so um not counting out Red Bull in this as well. Um, with regards to Dick of the Day, I don't really have a pick, honestly. And for Clown of the Day, I'm obviously gonna give it to the Las Vegas Fair on Lance Stroll, as we said, as you said earlier on in the episode, guys. I think if if we look at the driver standings, guys, Verstappen obviously now has wrapped up the drivers the world the world championship. Now he is now a four-time world champion, and he is going to remain on the top of the pile on top with 403 points. Lando Norris looks like he's going to secure second place, bar any collapses in both Qatar and Abu Dhabi. It looks like that he's going to stay in second place with 340 points. Charles Leclerc in third with 319 points. Oscar Piastri in fourth with 268 points. Carlos Sainz in fifth with 259 points. George Russell in sixth with 217 points. With that win, he stays in sixth. With that win, same goes for Hamilton with 208 points. With that second place, Sergio Perez in eighth with 152 points. Fernando Alonso in ninth with 62 points, and Nico Hulkenberg in 10th with 35 points, respectively. If we look at the constructor standings, obviously now all eyes are going to be on the constructor standings, guys, because we have obviously the battle for the top spot, and we also have the battle for sixth place as well. But if we look at the top, if we look at the standings, McLaren stay on top with 608 points. However, Ferrari are just 24 points behind McLaren with 584 points. It honestly could go either way at this point, at this stage in Qatar and in Abu Dhabi. Red Bull in third with 555 points. Honestly, Qatar is their last chance for them because if both cars get a poor result in that race, I think that is it for them for the constructor standings. So they stay in third with 555 points. Uh, Mercedes, big haul in points for them, obviously with their 1-2, but they will stay in fourth. They now have 425 points. Aston Martin in fifth with 86 points, and it looks like they're going to be staying in fifth place bar any collapses, obviously. As I said, obviously sixth place is looking very tight. The gap between six and eight is just 4 points. We have Haas who have 50 points. We have Alpine who have 49 points, and we have Racing Bulls with 46 points. So honestly, this could go either way. Obviously, sixth place will make a big difference for either of those teams because it will obviously There will obviously be millions of dollars injected, a big sum of money injected for either of those teams finishing in those positions, regardless of where they're going to be finishing. So sixth place could go either way. It could go for Haas, Alpine, or Racing Bulls. Williams in ninth with 17 points, and the Sauber in 10th with 0 points. And it looks like and it looks like Sauber are not going to score any points. And our bet looks like it's going to be. It looks like it's going to be staying that it looks like it's going to be staying that way basically. All right, guys, that is it. That is the end of this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to follow us on our socials. Malcolm unfortunately had a bit of an emergency a couple of minutes ago, so I had to see out the last few minutes myself. So apologies for that. He with regards to his awards for Drive of the Day and so forth. He will talk about them in the next episode. Might mention he might mention them towards the start of the next episode. Apologies for that. Our next episode, guys, is next week. Obviously, we have Qatar, and all eyes are going to be on the constructor standings. Who will clinch? It will probably go down to the wire to the last race of the season for the constructor standings, and let's see who will come out on top and who is going to get that sixth place basically for come the end of the season. And with that, guys, thank you so much for listening. Follow us on our socials. Make sure to we really appreciate your support for this podcast. And as always, we'll see you on for the next episode. Peace out.